tragic. And I have such great respect for him, competing all those years in the West and then last couple of years. So it's just very solemn news. So thoughts and prayers. And as far as the game, I thought our attention to detail was better in this game than the last. Our guys focused and concentrated. There were difficult stretches, but we stayed with our brand of basketball and did some very good things. And so, we've got to get home and get rested. The next game is 6 p.m. on Tuesday. It's a quick turnaround, and we're going to need to be ready, and we're going to need our fans to have Gamebridge, louder than it's ever been.
Rick, what did Myles Turner's start for you guys mean for setting the tone tonight and the way he played the rest of the way?
I just thought the team functioned so much better tonight, just in terms of our ball movement, our cutting, our passing, and those guys created problems. And Myles was in prime position to take advantage in a lot of those situations early. And defensively, we were more locked in tonight. I mean, Giannis is impossible. Let's just be honest about it. It's just he's an impossible guy to guard. You can't guard him straight up. There's just no way. And their shooters were hitting shots tonight too, and that's scary. So, we'll have to look at the film and see what other adjustments are there, and get ready for Tuesday.
I think the Bucks cut it to 9 in that third quarter. Then T.J. McConnell led a bench group on a big run. What did you see from that second unit stretch today, and in general, T.J.'s performance, what it meant for that?
The second unit was a big key in the game. Pascal had 4 fouls. We started the team in the fourth quarter without either Ty or Pascal, which we rarely do. And those guys executed. They got good shots. They put points on the board and did a good job defensively. And, when Milwaukee was scoring, we were able to answer back. So that was, very important part of the game. You let these guys get on a run in this building, the place just goes crazy. I mean, it's just, it's very loud.
Aaron Nesmith's plus 26 in 25 minutes, and obviously that block there towards the end of the third is massive. And just one, how big was that play just by itself? Because it sets up a Tyrese and one, but just what have you liked on both ends from him? Just everything you're getting across the board.
Yeah, we're the kind of team that needs a lot of heroes. That's the way we're built. We're built on depth. We're built on camaraderie, a connected spirit. We were more connected tonight. We needed to be last game. We had the second most isolations that we had the entire season last game, based on, the analytic information, and that's just not us. And so we moved it much better tonight. We got in trouble a few times here and there, but overall, the spirit, the intention was correct.
So obviously I imagine you had a conversation with Jarris and Ben before the series started to say, this is just about being ready. It's going to be a different role for you guys every night. Jarris comes through 4 or 5. You get some good minutes from him against Giannis. Obviously, Ben hits a big 3. Just what have you liked about both of those guys, just, I guess, the professionalism they've shown and how they've stepped up?
Yeah, yesterday we watched film and we had an optional thing. And so we came over with the low-minute guys. So there were, I think, 7 guys. And Pargo played with them, but we organized like a real workout, and Walk participated in it because I knew that there was a chance that Mathurin would not play. I saw the hit. He had trouble sleeping the night of the game, had trouble eating. I mean, those aren't good signs. And so, I don't know what his prognosis is. I know he's better today than he was yesterday, and then, each day he's doing a little bit better. But Walk worked hard yesterday. The guys helped him be ready, and he also gives us another body to throw at Giannis with some size. So, he did a very good job.
Just go by that. I mean, Giannis was 3 of 10 for 8 in the first half, and obviously, like you said, he's going to get going at some point. He's Giannis, but I mean, what did you like just across the board about what you guys did to at least slow him down for that period, even though he got going in the third?
Just got to keep trying to make it hard. We got to keep trying to make it hard. When he scores at the rim, we got to get it in quick and make him run. And we just, we're a team that's, got to play fast, got to play with persistence, and we got to try to wear down the opponent as best we can. And so, anyway, he's a great player. He's one of one in terms of how he plays. There's never been a player like him. I mean, he's still appears to be very early in his prime. It's very scary. So we've got to do everything possible to make it hard.
Rick, how big of a deal is it to have an opportunity to win in front of the home crowd? Obviously,
I'm not talking about any result-oriented conversation. We did better tonight because we stuck to a process of focus, playing to exhaustion, and playing together and ball movement and being more tied together defensively. And if we're going to talk about something, we'll talk about the first 5 minutes on Tuesday night. That's what we're focusing on. But as I said, I mean, we need our crowd to be the loudest it's been all year. Elimination games are always the most difficult. You've heard that cliche many, many, many times, probably too many. But that's how it's going to be, and we got to be ready.
Thanks, Coach.
Any questions? I want to send my thoughts and prayers to Dame. What you see between us is competing, and you hate to see that happen, especially to a guy who's went through a lot, and he's given it his all to come out here and play after a scary health issue. So it's well documented. The love I had for that guy, and so hate to see that happen to anybody, and wish him the best moving forward.
Talked a lot after last game about you guys being stagnant on offense. What did you feel like was better in terms of your offensive flow today as a team?
I thought we did a good job moving the ball. To be honest with you, I felt like last game we just had a bad third quarter. I thought we had to do a better job defending in the third, offensively in the third. We were on our heels a lot. But I felt like we got a lot of good shots. We just did knock them down in the first half last game. And that being said, we still went into halftime with a 10-point lead, and I feel like we kind of let our foot off the gas pedal. So, I thought we responded the right way today. Came out in the third quarter with the right energy, the right attitude, and we're able to get a win tonight.
Myles obviously made lots of shots, but the screening, the passing, the defense, I mean, what all did he mean to you guys today?
Yeah, he was big time. I think, if you ask him, he probably didn't have the game he wanted to have last game. I feel like he got a lot of good looks, just didn't knock him down. There was no panic from us after game 3. I think we understood that we were getting a lot of good shots, especially between me and him. Both struggled last game, and so he set the tone really with a couple early buckets. And just, when you see the first couple go in as a team, that just, makes the rim bigger. And I thought we did a good job of, continuously attacking.
Certain fan interactions have gotten you going over the years. Did the overrated chance in any way fuel you these last 2 games?
Sure. A lot of these people grew up like 30 minutes away from me, so sure. It's all in fun. There's a couple of guys who get a little crazy, but that's the beautiful part about our sport. Talk shit back and forth, and how you respond. So that's the fun part about it.
Just I imagine after the last game, you talked about feeling like you left a couple on the table as far as layups and floaters and stuff like that. It seemed like you made a point to do that. Was that? Did you go in there thinking, okay, there are more of those opportunities? I guess did you see more on film that you had to attack?
Yeah. You can say that. I still only shot 11 shots. I still feel like there's probably a lot that I passed up there at the rim or in the paint. So, I got to keep doing a better job. I think their game plan is to make me be a scorer. That's what it feels like. So just trying to take advantage of that, keep getting 2 feet in the paint and just making the right read. Trying not to overthink the game of basketball. If I'm open, shoot it. If they collapse, find my shooter. So, it's ebbs and flows of being a point guard and getting guys involved, also, taking care of what I do individually. So, it's part of that. And, it's well documented over the last 3-4 years how that's been a struggle of mine and how something I continuously need to get better at. So, I feel like I did a good job responding to that today.
You talked about in the past, Russ, is how much AA does for you guys. I mean, that block that he sets up, that he's up for a 3-point play. Just how massive a play is that, especially going into the end of a quarter?
Yeah, I mean, that's who AA is. I think what he brings doesn't always show up on the score sheet, but there's some people who say like they're willing to die for this. AA is willing to die for this. He gives it his all every night, and I think every team in the NBA wants a guy like Aaron Nesmith. Every team who wins big and ultimately wins it all always has a guy like Aaron Nesmith. So love having a guy like that in our group who give it all for us. And he was really big for us tonight, and as he has been since he's come back from injury earlier this season, and he'll continue to be the rest of the year.
Obviously, Ben Schumer gives you a lot of big buckets. Obviously, TJ, Jarris, Ben, Obi. How big were those guys, and just how big was it? Just seemed like every time they made a run, you guys got a shot from somebody, whether it was a starter or a bench guy.
Yeah, I thought TJ was huge. Thought he did a great job, especially in that third quarter, late clock of just making plays. That guy just somehow finds his way to get to the hoop and score layup against anybody. He's unbelievable. I thought our bench unit was really good today. Walk was great. Obi was great. Ben Shepherd was great. Even Thomas Bryant in his limited minutes came in and really got on the glass. I thought we had a lot of different guys chip in tonight and make big plays, and our depth has been well documented, and I think that it's a big part of our success.
In terms of just talking shit, I guess you and Bobby have obviously gone back and forth. Obviously, you guys go back to World Cup and everything like that. Just, I guess, what's that been like in terms of the fun back and forth that happens in this series?
Yeah, I mean, it's basketball. It's competing. I think that over the past 2 years, things have been said that there's no going back on, and he's a competitor. I'm a competitor. If there's one thing I know about Bobby, he's going to compete, and I am too. So we ain't going anywhere, and that's just part of the fun of playoff basketball. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants, to make an impact on the game, and so that's just, part of the fun of it.
Ty, how does Dame's injury change the series, if at all?
Yeah, I think we got to do, a good job of still continuing to approach these games the right way. I think we also understand that with him being out, other guys are going to step up. See, KPJ shot 17 shots today. We anticipate him being very aggressive. With a guy like Dame going out, that opens up a lot of shots for them, for other guys on their team. So, we got to be able to scramble, got to be able to, continue to bring our energy for 48 minutes. But it's really unfortunate, to see that happen. Hate to see that happen to anybody.
Y'all were up 10 at the half the other night. You're up 11 at the half tonight. What was said kind of at the halftime it seems y'all really just kind of stepped on their throats there as soon as the second half started.
Yeah, I think just going in the halftime, looking at it like a 0-0 ball game. Understand that, last game, our third quarter was poor, and we were poor both offensively and defensively. And I thought we did a good job of keeping pace in the game. We still, if we go back and watch film, we'll still say we played too slow in the third quarter. But that was our focus. We're in the exact same predicament 2 days ago. Sorry. And so just trying to approach it the right way. And I feel like that's part of maturing. A game like Game 3 is going to happen throughout a playoff series and a playoff run, and to playoff teams. And it's about how you respond. I thought we did a great job of responding the right way, and I thought the result ended the way we wanted it to.
Yeah, I was gonna start off anyways, man. I just want to give my love and respect to Damian Lillard. I think it's a tragic thing that happened. I think it's this time of the year, I think everybody gets so caught up in all the antics and the playoff rivalry and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, like, this league's a brotherhood, man. There's only 450 of us, and he's always been one of my favorite competitors, even since I've been in this league. So I know he has a rough road ahead, and I just personally wanted to send that out there. Just thoughts and prayers, man. And again, you just never want to see anything like that happen. No matter how competitive these playoffs get.
After the game you had 2 nights ago, getting off to a strong start, what did that mean to you and the kind of tone it set for the rest of your night?
Yeah, I was aggressive offensively. Just pick and choose my spots. And Tyrese did a good job of giving me the ball in that middle pick and roll, and made some shots. It's exactly what we talked about last game. Sometimes it's a make or miss league. Missed a lot of shots last game, made a lot of shots this game, and the difference was staggering.
The block on Giannis dunking, that start of the third quarter got your team kind of into it. What did those big plays mean to you and your group today?
Well, it's just that, and outside of the play itself, it's a momentum starter. I think it just gets our bench going. Obviously gets our gets us going on the floor, and just sparks new energy into the game. So it was a timely play.
A lot of guys use the word stagnant to describe you guys on offense in the second half 2 nights ago. What helped you guys get out of that today?
Man, just the power of moving the ball, man. I think, after watching the film of the third quarter last game, I think that we didn't necessarily take bad shots, but it just wasn't our brand of basketball. You know what I mean? I think that we did an amazing job of moving the ball tonight, and when the ball hums like that, great things happen for us.
You talked about, you used the term timing play. I guess, how did you, kind of figure out your timing in terms of how to guard Giannis and how to block shots at the rim and how to take away some of his opportunities? There's other guys as well, but I mean, just over the course of playing and how to deal with a guy like that over the course of 3, 4, 5 games in a series.
Yeah, it's
what
just,
did you figure out about that?
I think it's just experience. I mean, I've been guarding him for a long time, and he's gotten the better of me, quite a bit. But the studying film and the studying tendencies, I think that's a big part of it. Once you're actually out there in the fire, you either sink or swim. I think I've started to figure some things out, but at the same time, and he's still a great player. Just as you figure one thing out one night doesn't mean it's gonna be the same the next night. So, yeah, we just got to continue to keep mixing it up, and yeah.
I guess how just important is it just to bring more force to it, of everything else, just to kind of bring, be more aggressive, go at him. Obviously he's a powerful guy, but I mean, did you view that as one of the most important things you had to do on both ends?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. I think that you have to bring the fight to him at times, and go at him defensively as well. And I think as a whole, we don't have to hunt anybody. I think the way we move the ball and the way our offense is set up, it could be anybody's night.
I guess on the flip side of that, I mean, how important was it to find some matchups early? It seemed like you were able to get some small guys on you to get started. How big was that piece to kind of find some switches, find some opportunities where there were guys that you could?
Yeah, just being intentional. Running the floor. I think when you run the floor at times and get out, at times guards have to take you. And even if I don't get the ball, it makes guys have to look in and guys get to, shots on perimeter and whatnot. So just continuing just to, just mix it up, run the floor, and just within the flow of our offense.
Speaking.
It felt like Tyrese, just instead of sort of dribbling the ball up the court more, when you got off it, you guys found him later in the possession. Just kind of what did that open up for you guys on offense, and was that an intentional adjustment for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, him having to break it up full court with guys like Trent or Porter Jr. or whoever guarding him, it can be a lot of them at times. So if he's able to get off the ball and have a running start to the ball, he's able to get downhill. I mean, they're very intentional about sending him to his left hand. So just going with the flow of things. If he's able to get downhill with his left and draw attention, it does nothing but help us out within our offense.
Y'all went on a run right after Dame went out. When you're an opposing player, what goes through your mind when you see something like that happening to somebody on the other team?
It's very disheartening, because immediately once he kind of looked back, I think we all kind of knew what it was, and it's just it's a weird feeling to describe, because you have to still compete, you have to get out there, but again, you just never want to see that happen to another athlete that puts in as much time as he does, into his craft, into his game, and just like we all do. So yeah, it's very disheartening, but it happens fast. It's a playoffs, you have to be able to move on, and I can imagine how his team felt.
Myles, these fans, obviously there's a bunch of Pacers fans that came out to support you guys. The deer hunters that were out here again. I mean, to see this rivalry and see these fans embrace this thing like that, how cool is that?
Yeah, that's the word for it right there. Embrace it. I think that coming into hostile territory at times, it's you do kind of try to find your tribe a bit, and then you'll have a big player, a big three, and the guys on the bench or fans on the bench are yelling. It's we feel like you're really in it together, if you will. We know we have each other on the bench, but when we have that support out there, it's amazing. To travel 3 hours, or there's no direct flights to Milwaukee, so I know it takes a minute to get here. Man, it's love.
I want to ask you about Aaron's block. How big of a deal was that? In the third quarter?
He sacrificed himself, man. I think that he landing on your back like that's not fun, but it sparked a big play for us, and that's just not new, for him. It's very on par for what Aaron Neesmith brings to our team. Just a hard-nosed guy, and I think he does an amazing job of just selling out. I think he'll just go out there and just put his body, life on the line for the team.
Yeah, I felt like we did good, but it started with the starting unit. They came out and did what they had to do to get the game going. We just had to go in there and just make sure we was positive. Obviously, yeah, we know our job, and
Yeah, basically.
What just Rick talked a lot about just the ball movement and everything being a lot better, and I just how much better just was the overall offensive operation, just getting you guys.
Yeah,
clean
we go out there, create random movement. My bad. To get guys open. It's just clear as day. It's random. But just go out there, create movement, find the open guys. We got great guards who do that, and yeah.
8 players in double figures. I mean, depth has always been a huge thing on this team. How much was that on full display tonight?
Yeah, our depth is amazing. Everybody on our team can have a good scoring night any given night. But I feel like it all starts with our starters. They do a great job keeping us on track, keep us going forward, and we just come in and do what we do best. So.
You
What
mentioned
did Myles start to the game and the second half too to set the tone for you guys?
Yeah, that dunk definitely set the tone for the second half. He came out here and ran through one of their best guys to dunk the ball. Obviously, that got everybody on the bench. I don't know if y'all got the reactions of that, but everybody on the bench was going crazy, and that was just juice that filled us. That we just came into the game with that good energy.
in terms of another big play that kind of juiced everybody up, that block that Aaron had turns into a three-point play for Ty. How big was that one, especially there at the end of the third?
Yeah, that block was insane, but it's nothing. You want to come in here with me? No, I was it's nothing surprising. Obviously, we know who Aaron is. He's willing to sacrifice his body for things like that. So
To see the fans again out here supporting you guys and Patriot fans making the trip, to see the deer hunting outfits that you guys
Yeah.
how cool is that to see every game?
yeah, we see them all every time we play the Bucks. But we love our fans. We got the best fans in the league, and so we definitely hear them and they get us going. So
To have an opportunity back in Game Bridge, how exciting is that?
can't wait to get back. We love playing in front of our fans. So